Hello, hello, and welcome. Let me just make sure one thing is working. Yep, that is working. Okay, wonderful. Just so you know, depending on where you are joining me, I will have captions available if you need them. But welcome to Art Night. I am your Saturday night, and we're going to be doing some painting and generally just enjoying an absolutely beautiful evening together. A quick visual descriptor before I get too far along. I have long brown hair, glasses, a black shirt, a silver bracelet. We are here in my studio and library space where I join you for most of my streams, and we have such a good time. I have a really good time with all of you, and hopefully you have a really good time here. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a little bit of Impressionist painting and just enjoying ourselves. But it's October, and if nothing else, in October, we have to acknowledge one big thing. One enormous thing. It's spooky season. So the last couple of times we got together for some painting and some art, I was doing a wonderful character painting. You'll notice it's not here. We're going to start something different. We will come back to that character painting, but I'm going to do something that's much more fitting with the season. But before we kick off, one quick thing. Maybe just a short passage from this. Ever so brief as it will be. Ah, broken is the golden bowl, the spirit flown forever. Let the bell toll, a saintly soul floats on the Stygian river. And Guy de Vere, hast thou no tear? Weep now or nevermore. See on ye drear and rigid bier, low lies thy love, Lenore. Come, let the burial rite be read, the funeral song be sung, an anthem for the queenliest dead that ever died so young. A dirge for her, the doubly dead, in that she died so young. Wretches ye loved for her wealth, and hated her for her pride, and when she fell in feeble health ye blessed her that she died. How shall the ritual then be read, the requiem now be sung, for you by yours the evil eye, by yours the slanderous tongue? That did to death the innocence that died, and died so young. That is, of course, the first two verses of Lenore by Edgar Allan Poe, and I think it's more than a bit fitting for this particular season, for this particular time, and of course I truly just enjoyed having a chance to read from Edgar Allan Poe. This was a lovely book, and it's starting to, this was a lovely gift, and the cover's starting to wear down, but I absolutely love this book. It's wonderful. And what better time to find a chance to share it with all of you. But other than Edgar Allan Poe, other than this month of fear and woe, other than this trepidatious season, what, oh what, will we paint, and for what reason? Sometimes we can rhyme in a scheme and in good time, but not always, no, my friends. Sometimes these good things come to an end. So let us go ahead and continue forth as I share with you the concept I have for what we're going to put on this beautiful canvas. Because it's art night. It's art night. And I had an idea, so I actually put a few lines on here really quick, just a few quick ideas of some stuff that I can share with all of you. And I figure, in the spirit of spooky season, in the spirit of the time, the place, in the spirit of the beautiful Poe that I just read you, or Bram Stoker, or Mary Shelley, we should do something mildly Victorian and fun. And why not? Why not enjoy ourselves? Why not create some sort of beautiful piece here? It might be a little impressionist, it might be a little rough, but you know what it will definitely be? Unique. And we can all share it together. And that's all you need. Something unique. Something we can share together. Now, I'm going to let you know, I already actually grabbed some colors. So let me talk about some of these colors I want to use tonight, because I'm just in a good mood. I had my art workshop today, my monthly art workshop, The Art of Feeling, and I'm just kind of on a high energy right now. So I already had everything ready, and I already have some paints that I want to use. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to share with you all some of the paints we're going to use, because I have a selection of paints and a selection of acrylics. So we're going to be using one of my favorites, Parrot Blue from Apple Barrel. So we're going to use this Parrot Blue. And then I have this wonderful Crafter's Closet White, just a nice acrylic white. You have to have a good acrylic white. I have this nice yellow, just a nice yellow. But I also have this wonderful flame yellow from Apple Barrel. This flame yellow from Apple Barrel. And we're also going to be using flag red, jack-o'-lantern orange. I have this nutmeg brown, which is just a beautiful brown, nutmeg brown. We're going to use that. I will tell you what these colors are again, of course, but I just want to share with you the flow. And then I'm going to pull out some of my Liquitex inks. So I also have this Naphthol Crimson and this Deep Violet. These are both Liquitex inks. These are acrylic inks, and they're just beautiful. They're wonderful, the way they layer, the way they work. But we're not just going to use those. I also am going to be using this beautiful cerulean blue hue. Cerulean blue hue, also Liquitex ink. And in case you thought the yellow family was over, it's not, because we also have a yellow medium azo and a yellow oxide. These are also Liquitex inks. So we have those. And we can't truly be done yet until I let you know we're also going to be using carbon black and Prussian blue hue. So we have carbon black and Prussian blue hue. We're going to be using both of these as well. These are also from Liquitex, and they're lovely. They're absolutely lovely. So now that we've covered some of that, let's go ahead and get into the actual work here. We're going to get into the actual work, and if you've ever been here before for me painting, you know I have a certain way I work through things, but we're going to experiment. We're going to have fun, and we're going to try something a little bit different. Or at least we are going to attempt something a little bit different. I actually think that is one of the most important things that you can do, is just attempt something. Like, you just try, right? We just have to try. We don't have to do anything more than that. We don't have to do anything complicated. We just try. we just try and we enjoy and we experiment. So the first thing I'm going to actually be doing is I'm going to be putting some white down, but just in a couple specific spots. So I'm actually going to get this number 2 round brush, and I have some white paint on that. Number 2 round brush, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start kind of getting some of this laid in where I want my moon to be. I want it to be a really bright moon, but I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to get some of this white down first. And I'm not really going to be too dramatic with it. I'm just going to get it on here. I'm going to get it there. I'm just going to really lay that in. And then, since I already have that little bit of white there, I'm just going to grab the tiniest dab of that Crafter's Closet Yellow. And I'm just going to mix it in here. Just mix it in. Mix it in. Because we already have all this white there, right? I'm just getting that right on there right now. Because we're going to have this nice bright pale moon. This nice bright pale moon. It's already so lovely. But now that we have that moon there, we have to conceive of the sky and the stars and everything else. So again, I'm going to use a rather small brush, and in this case it's going to be a number 2 flat brush. There's that, number 2 flat brush. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get some more of this yellow, but it's just going to be the yellow now. And I have an idea for the yellow, alright? And I'm going to start to build what will be the lighting of a big old Gothic castle. Now, usually I start dark and then I lighten on top, but right now I actually want to underlight everything. I want to put these lights in ahead of time. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to start building in what's going to be a beautiful Gothic castle in the distance. And once we get a little bit further, this is all going to make sense. All going to make sense. Everything's here is going to be neat. It's going to be tidy. It's going to be beautiful. I want it to be a really big, dramatic castle, you know? That's what I want. I want big and dramatic. We're not going to skimp on the drama. We're not going to skimp on the potential pageantry. We're going to remove ourselves from things like realism and focus on what could be a story. I want to tell you a story with this picture. So we need to get all of this back here. We're going to have a really dramatically lit castle. Really dramatically lit. And then after that, oh, we're going to have some fun. Oh, we're going to have some fun. Do you like to have fun? I like to have fun. Do you like surprises? drama. And bright lighting. And look at that already. We're getting like a really interesting visual. We're getting a really interesting appeal. And why shouldn't we have something interesting, something remarkable? Something just, I don't know, different. And I'm going to go ahead, we're going to create some perspective here. Wonderful perspective. And I want what could be like a lit road here. So that's what we're going to end up with, a lit road. Or what could be a lit road. Already we have so many things going on. So what could possibly be next, right? What could possibly be coming next? Well, so up here in our foreground, we're actually going to have a woman in a very long, very kind of old-fashioned, swoopy, romanticized period dress or period concept dress. So let's go ahead. What we're going to do is we're going to start by adding in what will eventually be, and I'm going to come through this a few different times, but I'm going to use this parrot blue, and I'm going to block in what could be her dress and sleeves. I'm not going to put the whole thing in here because we're going to be doing some of this as we move forward, you know? So what I want to do more than anything is give what could be this image. We're just putting some blocking in first. Nothing overly specific. But now that we have this shape, this concept, I'm going to take this same parrot blue and I'm going to get a little bit of it up here because we want to have like this night sky, but I want to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to play with this. Really just rub it in. Rub it in. Because we're going to darken this all up as we go. Let me go ahead. I'm going to unlock my canvas because I do not want it to be impeded by the lock. But yeah, I'm just going to start to kind of like put these light blues in here in what will be the sky. We're going to come back through and we're really going to liven this all up and we're going to darken it all up. But before any of that, and I'm going to go ahead, even though I've gone ahead and kind of already put my moon shape in there, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get that blue right over the edges. Because we're going to come through. None of this is even close to what will be its final form. Right? Not even close. But we already have some beauty going on here. Now, I would like to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who's here. So what am I going to do right after all of that? Well, I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm going to take this big old... this is actually a... What is this one? Oh, I think it's a number 12, but I could be wrong. This is a number 12 flat brush. We're going to take this, and I'm going to take some of that nutmeg brown. I'm going to start to build some of the darkness. Just build it in. There we go. We're just starting to build in some of our dark areas. All with this beautiful nutmeg brown. And it is just beautiful, you know? But I really want to build up the dramatic visuals here. Really build it up. I'm not going to let myself worry too much if I get some of these colors on top of what's already here. Because we're still doing a lot of blocking, a lot of early concept for what our final piece is going to be. And since we're still building those concepts, we have a lot of freedom. We're not going to worry ourselves too much with certain aspects of this. Actually, let's go ahead and put like maybe there's a really dark building there. You can see we're just kind of playing with our idea. Just playing with it. And I think that that is one of the most important things here. Play with your ideas, play with your concepts. Maybe that's a bit taller there. We're going to come back through and we're going to lighten that up afterwards. But maybe there's a break there. Maybe there's a break there. Maybe there's some shadowing on this building. Maybe there's a break there. So already we're getting kind of some texture and some depth. And what I'm going to do here, just a little bit there. Maybe there's a dark tower up here. I'm going to really darken that spot in. That feels natural to me. You know, we're just playing, getting our concepts here first. And then just some light strokes on all of this. Bear in mind, like, we're going to come back through and we're going to brighten this all up again. But I already have that lighting there. And because the lighting is already there, like all of this is just helping sell the structure. And that's one of the big things. So we're going to help sell the structure. Let's make that a little taller there. There we go. So already we have a lot going on. It's all very interesting, very fun. I'm going to get myself a number 4 angle brush. Number 4 angle brush. And here's where I'm going to come in with some of that flag red. And I'm going to use it to create a base. So this flag red, we're going to come in here. And I'm going to start doing that. This is going to be kind of an undertone for what will become our character's hair as we go forward. It's not going to stay that red, but I want that red underneath. Because that's going to give this hair kind of a warmth. Now we already had that in there. And while we're doing this, you know, we already have a lot going on. We have a lot occurring, and we have a lot of possibilities. And I think that is where this gets really interesting, because we still have so many possibilities. We don't have an end product. We have the start of an end product. The start of an exploration of concept. So, once again, thank you to each and every one of you that comes for these wonderful streams. So we're going to get a number 6 round brush here really quick. Number 6 round brush. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get some more of my white. And I'm going to, once more, get that into where the moon is going to be. I want like a big moon. Big, big moon. And now that I've done that, I'm going to spread some of this white across the sky. Spread the white across the sky. Mostly just creating the initial qualities of what is going to be the night sky. And I think that that is something that we cannot undersell. The creation of quality. And I don't mean quality as in like, oh, this is a quality product. No, I'm talking like the more... The aspects, the intrinsic properties of the thing. Now I'm getting a little bit of that yellow spreading out here, but that's okay. We don't mind. We don't mind. And you can see some more of that spreading out as we go. Don't mind. If there's some bands of moonlight here, that's fine. Now I'm going to take some more of our parrot blue and start to get that in here. We're going to have multiple bands of color. You can see the white and the parrot blue just kind of automatically start mixing as I go along. Cover that upper. Getting this wonderful texture here already. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to spread some of that blue there. So here we go. Look at all this. Not very long, and we already have what could be a very interesting piece of art. Very consciously messy. Yeah, I'm covering up some of that. That's okay. Because what are we doing? We're going to take a moment to help define our moon a little bit more. Look at that. Just define that moon a little bit more. There's still a lot to do here. And we're going to be working for a little bit. I'm going to use heavy kind of varying strokes for a minute. Just these heavy varying strokes. Very, very, very. I don't want too much uniformity here. I want the chance for some really interesting alterations to our subject matter. Some really interesting chances for this to do whatever it wants. And when you give a painting the chance to do whatever it wants, you also create opportunities for yourself, for other people. You create that organic beauty that we find in nature. I'd say that is definitely like one of the most important aspects here, is creating some organic compounds to our work. Now we're going to come back to our midground, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding that carbon black, and that's a Liquitex ink. This is a carbon black. So I'm going to be adding this. Let's go ahead, get the appropriate brush. So many brushes to choose from in this circumstance. But I'm going to get a really small number 2 flat brush. Number 2 flat brush, really small. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to play with shadows and start creating some depth. So, how shall we create our depth? Well, we have this really bright courtyard road area. We have these browns and everything in the walls. So maybe, just maybe, a little bit of this. First I'm going to get some of this on here. Maybe that wall's a little ways away. Yeah? Perhaps. And yeah, sure, that stands out really hard right now. But as we move forward and put more in here, it's going to stand out less and less. Right now, I'm really thinking like shape and deep tone. Some of these structures are going to be much darker than others. I kind of want to do these. I like using kind of less obvious shadowing. And we're going to cover that all up. We're going to get a lot of different layers here. But as we build those things, I want to start to build various dimensions. And what are we going to use for those dimensions? Well, we're going to use various dark tones. We're going to use lines and structures and concepts, and I'm gonna be a little messy while I go. I think that's fine though. Because maybe everything off in the distance is wreathed in lots of shadow, like really rich dark shadow. Now we have this red hair. What I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to come back to the red hair, and I'm going to start creating these streaks of this black. So now we already have a little more depth. And then while we're at it, I know that everything here in this dress is really bright. But let's go ahead, let's darken some of it in. I'm going to do even more of this dark work as we move forward. But right now, I want to start developing what's going to be the character of the scene. And I'm going to grab some of this Prussian blue. And this is Prussian blue from Liquitex ink. I'm going to grab some of that. Why do I want this Prussian blue? Well, shadows aren't black. I'm going to get a number 4 angle brush. Yeah, I mean, shadows do definitely seem very black to us, but they're not exactly black. Most of that black is kind of an illusion, just something that it seems right. And that's the best I can say, is it seems right. And while we have this, I'm going to go ahead. We're not going to let it run. I'm going to get some of that up here really quick. Immediately, I'm going to get some of my white. And while I'm doing this, You know what? I'm going to grab a flat brush really quick, and I'm going to get some of that Prussian blue and some of that white, and oh, look at that. A little more of the white. So this is a fun fact about inks. If you're using inks, you can actually kind of loosen them up on the canvas with fresh acrylic paint, kind of like I'm doing here. Now, what I'm about to do is going to look strange for a minute, but just kind of trust me. Yes, I'm going to cover up a little bit of our moon, but what I'm going to do afterwards, after it sets in place, is try to bring more of the yellow out. If you look at the sky right now, you can already see like it's a lot more intense and visually interesting already. And that's one of many things that we want to do here. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to take my yellow medium azo, another Liquitex ink, and I'm going to start to put that into the moon. I don't want a lot of it, I just need enough. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to start to get our moon mobile. A nice mobile moon. So just a little bit of this azo. I'm going to just kind of swirl it in. Swirl it in. And we're going to start to create some sort of glow with this. And when I come back with more whites and things like that, we're going to slowly build this all up. Now what I'm about to do is I'm going to come back to one of these number 12s. I'm going to come back to one of these number 12 flat brushes, and I'm going to get some more of my nutmeg brown. But I'm not going to get a lot on the brush. I want it on the brush, but I don't want it like heavy, because I'm about to do this. I'm creating kind of almost a dry brush of dirt. I'm not sure if you can see, maybe you can, but we're not actually covering everything that was there, because this nutmeg is not so dark as to do that. But I am going to get a little bit of my yellow. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to take some of the bite out of that brown. Just taking the bite out of the brown. And that's one of the big things I'm doing right now, is I'm just kind of creating these multi-level variegations and shades. Let's really get some of that in there. And as you'll notice, I'm kind of outlining where eventually our Victorian character will be. And I'm going to say this again, do not worry yourself if you're like, oh no, we're covering up edges. That's fine. I want you to understand that this is okay. Like, we're really getting these fun variations right now. And as you can see, when I come back through with the yellow, one of the things it's doing is, again, it's taking some of the bite away. So it's taking away from some of the darkness of the brown, but it's also creating a light simulation. And then I'm actually going to go ahead, I'm going to get a tiny bit of my carbon black. I'm going to work that in there. Then again, get a tiny bit of it here. Get a little more of my brown. And we're going to fix all of this as we work. But, woof, look at all of this now. And I want to actually layer even more yellow over here. Because what we're going to do is we're going to create some implied light sourcing. And once that implied light sourcing is on there, it's going to really make this very interesting. And I'm going to get just a little bit of my white. Again, we're experimenting and we're playing. But oh my goodness, we have a lot going on now. And if you were to just compare where we started to where we are now, I think you can start to see the direction that we're heading and some of the concepts and ideas as we work along. Like, there's definitely a whole bunch of concepts and a whole bunch of ideas going on here. And we still have so much further to go. Like, so much further to go. But, you know, this is probably going to end up kind of like a couple of other streams where we do this in multiple parts. But, I mean, it's October, right? It's October. And because it is October, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to make sure that I share this everywhere it needs to be. So, if you have not heard the news, you know I have a website, right? And not only that, But, oop, what did I just do? What did I just do? Oh, there we go. So, what you're going to see in the chat is the link to my website and digital gallery, and you're also going to see a word, Arttober. Arttober. And what is Arttober? Well, Arttober is actually a discount code. Yep, you heard that right. That is a discount code. And what does that discount code get you? Well, I'm so glad you asked. If you enter in code Arttober into the checkout on my website, what you're going to do is you're going to get yourself a 10% off discount on everything, anything that you purchase. Not only that, but right now, select prints and new merch items like some t-shirts, a pencil bag, fun stuff like that, some of them have free shipping in the USA and Canada. Take advantage. Alright, so I'm grabbing some more white, and I'm grabbing a number 6 round brush, and some more white. But why? Why, you might ask? Well, because I'm going to go back to my moon. You didn't think we were done with the moon, did you? Not in the least are we done with the moon. Not in the least. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little wonky looking here for a moment. But I really have a certain goal in mind for this moon. And maybe it's going to end up a little surreal. Maybe it's going to end up a little different, a little strange. But don't worry, it's going to be great. Because I'm about to take that white-yellow combo that I just made, and we're going to start sprinkling it into the sky. Oh, why, oh, why? Oh, why in the sky? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we want clouds. Oh, we want clouds. And we want clouds that are kind of illuminated by this beautiful moon. So we already have like kind of clouds and maybe even a wreath of fog. Oh, a wreath of fog. I just like that idea, a wreath of fog. All right, but what are we going to do next? I'm going to tell you what we're going to do next. We're getting this yellow oxide. It's yellow oxide from Liquitex. Wonderful ink. And what am I going to do? I'm going to get this, and this is a bit of a darker yellow than the last one we used. But I'm going to go in. I'm going to get one of my little flat brushes, in this case a number 2 flat brush. And I'm going to actually work on my tower structures. You can see how that kind of overlays. But you can see the yellow that was underneath. And you can also see the browns and everything. So we're not really changing like the base structure, but we're giving it more depth and more tonality. And we're going to probably end up doing, this is going to be a 2-part stream, just like the last one. Of course, the last one is going to end up like, I don't know, uh, a 4 or a 5-part stream. We're going to find out. Maybe it'll be a 3-part stream. I like the way that looks right now. We're just adding interest. That's really the bulk of what we're doing, is we're just adding some interest here. I'm not going to hit everything with this yellow oxide, but there are some places that I want to hit. And once we're done with a few more strokes, there we go. Look at all that. Honestly, even as just like a basic painting at this point in time, this is really fun. It definitely is hitting those impressionist buttons. And other than that, we're also getting a lot of character and a lot of visual interest and a lot of intrigue. And that's one of those big things that we definitely want to get, is intrigue. Alright, so a lot of this down here has dried. So what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to take some of my white, and we're going to make some sort of area that looks lighter, lit in some way. I'm just going to pick over here. And I'm going to decide, like, how far do I want this lit area to be? But I definitely think that's going to be a nice diagonal like that. Oh, I kind of like that. That's already hitting the right buttons, I think. Is it a bit of a hard shadow? Yeah. Is that fine? Heck yeah. Now you'll notice I'm not just using one stroke style here. I'm using a variety of stroke styles and directions. And one of the reasons is I don't want to make that too hard. I don't want it to be too hard. I want it to have that same kind of wonderful organic quality we're getting on a lot of other things. So that is a big deal here. It's a big deal, and we're getting it done. Now, something I've also decided is I actually want to, I'm going to lighten up this right up here in the same way. So we're going to take some of this white. Maybe this is just a different building style. Maybe it's catching some of that moonlight. Whatever it is, let's just change that to increase our visual interest. And while we're at it, I actually think that, like, right here, this one too. Again, maybe that's just a different building, a different painting style, or, you know, a different kind of painting on that building. Something to just break up this look. Just break it up. Break it up. And while I have that there, I'm actually going to put some streaks of this again. You know, maybe these are just different kinds of buildings. And because that's right there, we're just going to do that. So now we have a lot going on. We have a lot of different colors. They're a whole lot of fun. Now, for my own enjoyment, I'm going to add some of this deep violet. And this is another Liquitex ink, and this is a deep violet. I'm going to put that up there, deep violet. We're going to add some of this. We're just having a great time. I hope you're having a great time. I'm having a great time. But let's go ahead. Let's add some of that deep violet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use another angle brush, another number 4 angle brush. And I'm going to get some of this deep violet. And first I'm going to do some of these way up here. I'm going to bring them down too. Because I don't want the cleanest, like most obvious kind of, sky. That's it. That's what I was looking for. But I am going to go ahead, I'm going to make some of that a little bit darker. And then we're going to do some more of these. And we're going to get really close to our moon. Drag that in. So now we're getting more of this really interesting visual style. But now that I've put that on there, we're going to do the only thing that I think makes sense at this point in time. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get a round brush again. And even though we have all this white that's already in there, I want to get some of that white now that we've already put all that down. And again, actually, these are going to be really long strokes, kind of, as you can see. But then, since we already have the round brush, let's go ahead. I'm just going to keep brightening the moon. Oh, we have so much wonderful stuff going on. So much. It's already really, really fun. Really beautiful. There's a lot more colors that are coming. But what I'm going to do really quick, again, for visual interest, is I'm going to take some of the Naphthol Crimson. We haven't put this on yet. I just need a little bit of it. And I want to create a little bit of eeriness. So that crimson, I'm actually going to be delicately adding to the lower levels of this kind of lit part of the castle. So we're going to say right in here. Now that we've got some of that in there, I'm going to go up to an upper level, like right up here. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of that red up here. And then, for my own enjoyment, a little bit of that red here. And one of the things that we're now doing is really differentiating our structures. So some of these structures now have a very distinct outline, a very interesting kind of aesthetic to them, and it's giving us more depth. We've already achieved so much. I mean, we're not even close to none. Let me see. Hopefully that brings that more into focus. Oh, it didn't. It didn't. It brought it out of focus. So let's bring it this way. Bring it that way. Maybe that will work. Let's see. But maybe just do that. I'll just do that for now. You know, you can see a lot of it. And we have a lot going on. We have a lot of visual interest. We have a lot of variance here. And in that variance, we're also finding what's going to be our theming and everything. Like, we're already getting some beautiful theming. Now, something I'm going to do really quick, because I don't want to miss this opportunity. I'm going to take some of this cerulean blue, another Liquitex ink. We're going to put some of this on here. I have a couple specific spots I want to put that really quick. I'm going to be using a number 2 flat brush. And I'm actually going to start to build up the bottom of this dress in kind of these sweeping motions upward. Let's go ahead, we're going to do that one there, that one there. Now, because of the way these inks are formulated, we're not going to end up covering everything that's underneath, which is definitely something we want. We want to leave some of this stuff very visible, because it's going to provide us with structure later on. But I'm already aware of the way this is being done. I have a really good idea where we're going. I want that really long sleeve there. And now that I've actually put that there, something I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to get some of that violet that I already have here. I'm going to lower that a little bit. Just going to create some kind of impressions here. That one's really heavy, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. There's a very clearly kind of a shape here. And I think I'm going to end up making that hair a lot thicker. I like that look of like someone's looking away and their hair's being blown. I just really like it. I do a lot of my portraits and everything, like face on. So this gives me a chance to do something different, but also to play with style. So we have a lot of style play here. While I'm at it, I'm gonna take just a little bit of my cerulean blue and my violet, and right at the bottom of this dress, I'm gonna shadow that in some. Really bringing out the life of it. And I think I would be remiss if I didn't go ahead and get my carbon black again. I want to make an adjustment. I want to build out my windswept hair. This is about drama. Drama, drama, drama. Gonna grab another one of my number 2 flat brushes. Gonna get some of this crimson black that I just grabbed. And then I'm actually going to go back through and I'm going to lay some of that on top of these other aspects of the dress and the outfit. While I'm doing this, I'm actually going to grab just the tiniest bit of white, not a lot, because I want to make sure that this is not a flat black. We do not want this to be a flat black. We're going to want to start to create some of our individual textures. And one of the ways we're going to do that is with this wonderful white. See, I know this doesn't exactly look quite right yet, but what we've already just done, I'm going to mix some of that black and white together really quick. What we've already just done is created far more visible hair texture with that, with the lines, with the additions. And I can honestly say for a painting that we've jumped into with just this rudimentary kind of concept and inspiration, so much has already happened here, so much has already been done. And because of that, let's see, hopefully that will make that easier to see on camera. But this is our October kind of Victorian themed painting as it sits right now, with this brightly lit Gothic castle in the distance and with a kind of romanticized Victorian woman here with a very long dress and giant sleeves. I really like the giant sleeves, even though that's very anachronistic and out of place. That's more medieval. But we're getting a lot of vibes here, and we're getting a lot of the flavors and the textures and the ideas that come along with that wonderful period of kind of Gothic literature. Definitely some Poe is occurring here. But we're also getting those tastes of Mary Shelley. and little droplets of Bram Stoker, and it's already just so much fun. It's so much fun. So what we're gonna do is this is gonna be another multi-part painting. We're gonna come back to this, but it's October, so why not have fun, right? Let's just enjoy ourselves. And I'm definitely also hitting a lot of those wonderful impressionistic points here. Now, for those of you who might not have seen the earlier link, I'm going to share that again. Oop. Well, I'm going to try. Well, either way, share that again. And if you go to my website and digital gallery, what you're going to find is a whole bunch of fun stuff, a bunch of wonderful new art prints, and new merch. New merch. And you know what's great about the new merch? One, there's pencil bags. Two, there's new shirts. Now, there's not going to be a lot of merch there when you jump on, if you jump on today. But new stuff is coming. More stuff is coming. There's going to be more shirts available with my artwork on it. There's going to be an importation of the fun things like the River Mornings t-shirts and the Your Saturday Night t-shirts and those things that you were able to get before on Bonfire. Those are coming to my website. So you are going to have a big open door. Now, with the Arttober code, which that also will be in the chat, and I will make sure to have that shared properly. But with that Arttober, you're going to get 10% off anything you purchase for the rest of the month. But not only that, certain pieces of merch and certain prints currently have free shipping within the USA and Canada, so get your free shipping and use your discount while it lasts. It's not going to last long. I would like to thank you all for being here, for enjoying this wonderful paint time we got to have together. I can't wait to get back to this. I have some stuff to clean up. We have this wonderful moon. We have this wonderful sky. Hold on, I gotta adjust that so hopefully there, you can see some more of the dark that's on the top of the sky. Wonderful dark sky and this brightly lit Gothic castle far in the distance, and this dark night in these streets, and we have this romanticized Victorian or maybe medieval woman wandering or staring. Maybe she's wandering down this path to the castle. Maybe she's just staring at it out in the distance. Either way, it's a ton of fun. And I'm so glad that we got to do this. I'm going to just make as much no. I'm going to be sharing more art with all of you, with the art workshops that are happening every month, and with these wonderful art nights where we're doing these beautiful new explorative pieces. And you're going to be seeing more abstract art from me, more impressionist art from me, more paintings, more drawings. We're really going to dive into it because I'm passionate about art. I'm passionate about many things. I mean, for those of you who have been following me for some time, you know I'm an author. I'm an award-winning filmmaker. I'm an artist. And I'm a live streamer. And I get excited when can share all that, when we can enjoy it together. So I'm going to be trying to bring you more art, and we're going to be doing more workshops, and there's going to be a lot more things happening. And if you're joining me on LinkedIn or YouTube, you're going to notice in the description for this video 2 links for 2 new stories I have on Kindle Vella. Go give them a read. Make sure you're liking them, make sure you're following, all of that. But thank you so very much for joining me for Art Night. I will see you again very soon. Don't forget that the new streaming schedule is Wednesday mornings at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and Saturday nights at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I know I was streaming 6 days a week for a long time. It's not going to be what's happening for a little while, just for the now. Who knows what's going to happen soon. Either way, thank you for being here. Take care. Be excellent. And I can't wait to see you all again. And I can't wait to share more art time with you. All right. But, ta-ta for now. And, bye everybody.